My husband, 22M, and I, 21F, got into a fight about McDonald's, and we haven't talked in days. Any advice? I go to school full-time, work almost full-time, and do all the house duties. I also cook every night for my husband and I. My husband is a picky eater, so I always ask him what he wants, and I make it for the both of us. Very rarely will we eat quick meals, like a frozen pizza. I always make him homemade food. During the summer, I am taking 9 units while working as an academic mentor teaching students over the summer to prepare them for their next year's courses. This obviously requires extensive prep time for lecture planning and creating homework assignments for each one. I am taking 2 6-week courses and 1 12-week. Right now, I am in an engineering class and a statistics class, which requires a lot of lecture time and study time. A few weeks ago, I was going to get some important paperwork done in LA, dual citizenship related. This appointment in LA was early in the morning, and I had a flight at around 5 a.m., which requires me to wake up at 2 a.m. to get there on time. This appointment was scheduled on a Friday. I work 9 to 6 on Thursday. I also have lectures to watch, and since it's a 6-week course, each session takes about 4 hours of lecture. I have 4 sessions a week. So, I got home at around 6:30 the Thursday before my appointment in LA, and began watching my lectures and taking notes. Also, I should mention now, my husband only works. He works about 25 to 30 hours a week. I asked him if he could take us to order takeout this night. He replied with why, and I explained to him I had about 3 more hours of lecture to get through, and had to wake up at 2 a.m., and that I worked an 8-hour so I was already exhausted. He seemed to still not understand why I want to get takeout. So I said, can you just take us to get something simple like McDonald's? It's super close. He replied, well, I want spaghetti. Wouldn't it take the same amount of time getting McDonald's than you cooking spaghetti? I make my spaghetti and meat sauce from scratch. I didn't want to argue with him after everything, so I just made it. He didn't even know I was upset until the next day. I explained to him that I never ask for a break, or really anything from him in general, so when I ask for a break I expect to get it. I ended up getting about an hour of sleep that night, with more assignments to do the next day still. Fast forward to a few days ago. Also, remember how my husband is a picky eater? I never get to make what I want for dinner, because he just complains about it. I found a pasta recipe that looked so good and have been debating on making it, and I finally said I was going to do it. My husband likes pasta, so I thought it would be perfect. I told him I was excited to try this and that I was going to go shopping for the ingredients after he left for work. He said okay. I went shopping and got everything. I also pay for all the groceries, and he texted me a couple hours later saying, are you still making pasta? We should get McDonald's tonight. I was like? And said, do you really not want my cooking so bad that you want McDonald's? And he said, not what I meant, and I said, what did you mean then? And he said, why do you get mad at me for not taking you to McDonald's, then get mad for offering to take you to McDonald's? I explained to him exactly why I was upset and how these situations were different. Last time I asked for a break, and this time I was excited to make one dinner that I wanted, and it just so happens it's the same night he wants to take me to McDonald's. We haven't talked in a few days and need some advice or guidance. I especially need ways for him to understand why I am upset. During this time, we were house and pet sitting for his family, and I just moved everything back home after he told me, if you want to get mad at me for offering to take you to McDonald's, go home. There are a lot of other factors that go into this, like for example, he doesn't even help me clean up the kitchen after I cook. I feel like his mom and not his partner or wife.